ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaskar my dear friends. This is video number 8 on Tattva Bodha of Adi Shankaracharya. This video starts with the 11th point, Jivan Mukta. He who has realized the truth of the oneness of the self and Brahma as well as the oneness within the whole universe is called a Jivan Mukta or a Jnani. Such a person has developed the vision of the identity between Jiva and Ishvara. एवं च वेदांत वाकई सद्गुरुपदेशेन च सर्वेष अपि भूतेषु येषां ब्रह्मबुद्धिर उत्पन्ना ते जीवन मुक्ता इति अर्थः. Thus by the words teachings of Vedanta imparted by a competent teacher Sadguru, those in whom the knowledge of Dharma in all beings is born, they are the Jivan Muktas, liberated even while living. Nanu Jivan Muktah ka, then who exactly is Jivan Mukta? Yatha de aham puruso aham ब्राह्मणो अहम शूद्रो अहम समिति दृढ़ निश्चय सतता न अहम ब्राह्मण न शूद्र न पुरुष है किंतु असंग है सच्चिदानंद स्वरूप प्रकाश रूप है सर्वांतर्यामी चिदाकाश रूपे समिति दृढ़ निश्चय रूप उपरोक्त ज्ञानवान जीवन मुक्त है. Just as one has the firm belief that I am the body, I am a man, I am a Brahmin, I am a Sudra, so also I am not a Brahmin, I am not a Sudra, I am not a man, but I am unattached of the nature, Satchidananda, effulgent, the indweller of all, the formless awareness. Thus one having this firmly ascertained approxa jnana, immediate knowledge, is the Jivan Mukta. The word Jivan Mukta means one who is liberated in this life. Liberation is gained only while one is alive. There is no liberation after death for a Jiva who is not liberated in this life. The Jivan Mukta has gained the realization by the teachings of Vedanta imparted by a qualified teacher who is himself established in the knowledge and who knows the art of conveying the subtle and profound truths of the scriptures. The Jivan Mukta is like a wave which has realized that it is made up of the same substance, water, as the ocean, and that indeed it is ocean. As long as he is alive, the Jivan Mukta enjoys this bliss of identity with Brahma and the universe. Externally, he does not look any different from other human beings. He does not develop any special features or styles or postures, but internally he has the vision of Brahma Buddhi. His physical body goes on as long as there is momentum, just as a wave goes on until its momentum is exhausted. The Shruti says, Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayant bhi samvishanti tat vijit nasva tat brahmeti. From what all these elements and elementals are born, by which the born are sustained, unto which they go and enter fully, may you entertain a valid desire to know that as Brahma itself. What is the nature of the Jivan Mukta? How is the vision of Brahma reflected in his nature? He is the one who is firmly established in the vision. I am unattached of the nature of Sat Chit Ananda, effulgent, the indweller of all. Formless consciousness, absolute. The meaning of these terms is explained below. Asanga, unattached. Just as the jiva has a firm conviction that I am the body or I am a Brahmin, I am a man, etc., a Jivan Mukta has the conviction, Dridha Nischaya, I am not the body, I am not a Brahmin, nor am I a man. It is his firm conviction gained through the knowledge of the self that he is not attached to anything. He does not entertain any notion of identification with body, caste or creed, just as space is not attached to nor contaminated by anything contained within it or associated with it. Atma is also free, unattached from everything. Atma self transcends everything but is not attached to anything. Jivan Mukta does not perform any action with the sense of Ahem and therefore is not associated with the results. Satchita Ananda, existence, knowledge, bliss. Jivan Mukta has acquired the vision of oneness of the self and Brahma. He is therefore of the nature of Satchitananda or existence, knowledge, bliss, which is the nature of the self or awareness. He is also Prakasa Svarupa, the effulgent one who illumines everything, the thoughts in the mind, the outside world, and even the luminaries like the sun and the stars. When the eyes are closed, one is still able to visualize the surroundings, which goes to show that awareness illumines the thoughts and therefore the manas, buddhi, chitta, and ahankara. Sarvantriyami, the indweller of all. Consciousness is pervading, that is, it is everywhere at once. Everything functions because of it, while it does not perform any function. The Jivan Mukta is also all-pervading, Sarvyapi, because he is of the nature of awareness. He is the self of all, that is everything and every being, because of whose presence everything functions. Chidakasarupa, formless consciousness. That which is formless, pure and simple like the sky is Chidakasa. Space is considered to be the dress or covering for the universe. However, space is within the consciousness and therefore the consciousness or Atman covers everything. The Jivan Mukta, being of the nature of Atma, is the accommodator of the universe. Aproxa Jnana. The knowledge of the self is immediate knowledge or aproxa jnana. The Jivan Mukta who has gained the knowledge of the self is called aproxa jnani. Knowledge is gained in three ways. One, direct or pratyaksha, which is the knowledge obtained by direct perception by sense organs. Number two, indirect or paroksha, which is the knowledge gained by inference. Anumana, when the object of knowledge is away from the perceiver. Such knowledge is obtained by listening to description, etc. Third, immediate or aproksha, that which is neither pratyaksha nor paroksha but immediate. Such is the knowledge of the already accomplished. Praptasya prapti, or the knowledge of the subject that already exists. Immediate knowledge of the self is therefore called aproksha jnana. Such a knowledge is not there is a certain Brahma, but that I am Brahma, and this is aproksha jnana. The inquiry continues until asti is become asmi am. The nature of the Jivan Mukta is nature of Atma or awareness, and there are no external features by which such an individual can be identified. Freedom from bondage. Brahmaivaham samitte proksha jnanen nikhil karam bandha vinirmukta sayat. By the immediate knowledge, approxa jnana, that I am Brahma, one becomes free from bondage of all karmas, karma. Jiva is beginningless because he is born of ignorance which is beginningless. During this existence, Jiva assumes different forms and goes through countless births and deaths. While in human form, the jiva performs actions, karmas which are both good and bad. Whether an action is good or bad is determined by the motive rather than the gross act. The law of karma is that every action is a cause and it will produce an effect in course of time. Every action produces a subtle counterpart depending upon the motive with which the action is performed. The subtle counterparts produced due to good actions are called punya and those due to bad actions are called papa. Karmani kapi vidhani santiti chet agami sanchit prarabdhene trividhani santi. If it is asked how many kinds of karma are there, the reply is there are three kinds of karma, namely agami, sanchita and prarabdha. ज्ञानो उत्पन्न अनंतरम ज्ञानी देह कृतं पुण्य पाप रूपम कर्म यदस्ति तदा आगामी तभिधीयते. The result of actions, good or bad, performed through the body of the jnani after the dawn of knowledge is known as agami. Agami karma. The jiva performs actions during his existence in human form while exhausting his prarabdha karma. Such actions performed willfully with the notion of doership ego results in punyas and papas and are called agami karma. When the present physical body is given up, these agami karmas get converted to the sanchita karma to be fructified in future. The agami karmas are generated only when the jiva is in human form because animals and other living beings live a life based on instinct. There is no ego or notion of doership in their actions. Agami karmas cannot be generated unless there is the notion of doership. Sanchitam karam kim. What is sanchita karma? अनंत कोटि जन्मानां बीज भूतम सत्य यत् कर्म जातम पूर्वजीतम तिष्ठति तत् संचितम ज्ञेयम. The result of actions performed in all the previous births which are in the seed form to give rise to endless crores of births in future is called sanchita accumulated karma. Sanchita karma, the punyas and papas accumulate and come to fruition in course of time. In the countless births in the past, the jiva has accumulated a large amount of punya and papa. This store of karma is called sanchita karma. It, as if, stands in the account of the jiva awaiting its fruition. Sanchita karma is comparable to a large fixed deposit consisting of different investments that mature at different times. What is deposited will mature. Prarabdham karam kimit chetah. If it is questioned what is prarabdha karma, then idam sharir mutpadah ih loke evam sukh dukhadi pardam yat karam tat prarabdham bhogen nashtam bhavati prarabdh karmanam bhogadev akshay iti. Having given birth to this body, the actions which give results in this very world in the form of happiness or misery and which can be destroyed only by enjoying or suffering them is called prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma. The karmas that have come to fruition at the time the jiva takes birth are called prarabdha karma. These are comparable to that portion of the deposit which has matured. The prarabdha karma determines the form of body and the type of environment most suitable for its expression. Thus, a jiva would take birth as an animal to exhaust certain type of karmas and as a human being to exhaust some others. Once again, whether the jiva is in a pleasant or unpleasant environment is determined by the type of karmas. The human body is obtained as a result of good karmas. Sat karma jnanayam. The jiva experiences pleasure and pain as a result of good and bad karmas, and the body falls when all the prarabdha karmas which have given rise to this present body are exhausted. Pure Pure punyas are exhausted in a field of experience called the heaven, Savarga, and pure papas are exhausted in a field of experience called the hell, Narka. The human body is a result of a mixture of punya and papa in which punya is predominant. Animal and other bodies result from a mixture in which papa is predominant. The law of karma and the three types of karmas explain the variety and diversity found in human life as well as nature in general. Some people are happy and some are not. Even in animal and plant life, these diversities are evident. The cause is the varieties of karmas and their manifestation. Freedom from bondage. संचितं करं ब्रह्मैवाहमीति निश्चयातं ज्ञानेन नश्यति. The Sanchita Karma is destroyed by the knowledge I am Brahma. Agami karam api jnanen nasyati kim agami karmanam. Nalini dalgat jalvat jnaninam sambandho nasti. The agami karma is also destroyed by jnana, and the jnani is not affected by it, just as a lotus leaf is not affected by the water on it. किंच ये ज्ञानिनं सतुवन्ति भजन्ति अर्चयन्ति तान् प्रति ज्ञानिकीर्तम् आगामी पुण्यम गच्छति. Further, those who praise, worship and adore the Jnani, to them go the results of the good actions done by the Jnani. ये ज्ञानिनं निन्दन्ति दिवसन्ति दुःखप्रदानं कुर्वन्ति तान् प्रति ज्ञानि कर्तुं सर्वगामि क्रियमाणं यद् वाचं करं पापात्मकं तद् गच्छति. Those who abuse, hate or cause pain or sorrow to a jnani, to them go the results of the sinful actions done by the jnani. तथा चातम विविध संसारम तीर्वा ब्रह्मानंद हिवे prapnoti. Thus the knower of the self, having crossed the samsara, attains the supreme bliss here itself. Tarti shokam with iti shruti. This shruti affirms the knower of the self goes beyond all sorrows. Because of the immediate knowledge of the self, the Jivan Mukta becomes free from all the bondage of karma. The bondages of karma lead to the process of birth and death, but the Jivan Mukta is free from it. A dreamer who experiences the results of his dream actions immediately becomes free from them when he wakes up. The waker does not have to bear the consequences of any bad deeds he might have performed in the dream. Similarly, a realized soul that is Jivan Mukta transcends the waking state into the absolute Turiya state and becomes free from actions performed in this relative existence. Knowledge removes ignorance, which is the cause for the bondage. A Jivan Mukta who has acquired the vision of the self automatically becomes free from the effects of all the Sanchita and Agami karmas. The Jivan Mukta is like a man awakened from sleep and therefore unattached or free from the effects of karmas performed in the dream state. By removing the cause for bondage, that is ignorance, the realized man becomes free from the effects of karmas which result from ignorance. The Jivan Mukta lives until his his body exhausts the effects of the prarabdha karma. He does not accumulate any agami karma because there is no notion of doership. The body continues to perform actions but he is not affected by them because he does not identify himself with the body. Nevertheless, the body does accumulate karmas which have to apply themselves somewhere. How are these karmas exhausted? The body, gross or subtle, of a jnani performs actions which generate both punya and papa. The punyas are transferred to those who praise, worship and adore the Jivan Mukta. The papas and transferred to those who hate or cause pain or sorrow to the Jnani. Thus the Jivan Mukta is free from the effects of any karmas performed by the body after the vision of the self has been gained. He has no more to take birth in any form because he has no karmas to exhaust. Thus the Jivan Mukta has crossed the cycle of samsara, the chain of repeated births and deaths. The realized man goes above the limitations of physical existence, although his existence does look limited. Just as a man who views himself in a distorted or a concave mirror knows that he is free from the limitations of the distorted image, a jnani also knows that he is not bound by the limitations of the body. The bondage of karma is caused by ignorance which is not real and is therefore erased by the knowledge of the self. Knowledge is the only means of realizing the self, just as fire is the only means of cooking the food. Just as fuel etc. are required to set up the fire, methods and techniques are required to prepare oneself for the knowledge. Such techniques of self-purification to acquire the fourfold qualifications described earlier are called yoga, and the science dealing with them is called yoga shastra. The process of gaining the subjective knowledge is sarvana manana nididhyasana. This process is called jnana sadhana, and the science dealing with it, that is Vedanta, is called Shruti. Anything except the Vedas is called the Smriti. The Smriti upholds the teachings of Shruti. Tanum त्यज्यतु वा काश्याम सौपचस्य गहेथय वा ज्ञान संप्राप्ति समये मुक्तासो विगताश्रय इति समर्थैश्च. Let the jnani cast his body in Kasi, a sacred place, or in the house of a dog eater, Chandala. It is immaterial because at the time of gaining the knowledge itself, he is liberated, being freed from all results of action. So assert the similarities too. The Jivan Mukta is already liberated in this life, just as what he does not bind him, so the place where and the manner in which he dies also do not affect him. There is a general belief derived from religious teaching that a person should preferably die at his chosen place, that is, at Kasi on the banks of the Ganges during certain period. For example, in Uttarayana and in a certain manner, Urdhvagati, in which the prana is supposed to leave through the skull. These things may possibly indicate something for a jiva, but for a jnani it is immaterial where he dies, whether at a sacred place such as Kasi or a detestable place such as the house of a Chandala. He has already become free from all concerns the moment he gained knowledge of the self. Iti Tattvabodha Prakaranam Samaptam. Thus ends the Prakarana called Tattva Bodha. Thank you, my dear friend, for watching these videos. Please like, comment and share the video and subscribe the channel. Namaskar, namaskar, my dear friend.